Brooklyn Communities Collaborative was launched in 2019 to support a Brooklyn where all communities are healthy, economically sound, culturally vibrant, and civically engaged. And we focus on strengthening health and wealth as a, hold on, I'm going to take away this little screen thing here, health and wealth and leadership in Brooklyn communities. And we leverage the power of anchor institutions and the knowledge of community members. Those are our two things we bring to the table. We convene and support stakeholders to collaborate, integrate services, build resources, and inform the policies and practice that most affect health and well-being. And I say this just to give you a little more information about why BCC would be as an organization focused on health would be sponsoring the Economic Democracy Fellowship. One of our key areas of focus is localizing the hospital supply chain in Brooklyn, especially. And, for example, for those of you who aren't familiar with this, so if the hospitals buy a lot of furniture, they buy a lot of food, they often buy it from out of state, sometimes from out of the country. And so why not be able to, create the conditions where the goods and services can be procured right here in Brooklyn. Is there maybe I can hear someone talking. Our focus on cooperatives. What does that have to do with localizing the supply chain? Well, part of our effort to improve health and well-being, cooperatives have been shown to be very protective in economic downturns. They can help build collective wealth, and they help to impart democratic decision-making practices in the workplace and elsewhere. So all of these things, Rebecca and the cohort, our first cohort of Economic Democracy Fellows, are going to be talking much more about this. And so, BCC and all of our partners sponsored this, knowing that sponsored the fellows, knowing that none of this is going to happen on its own, and we need the person power and the collective knowledge to be able to build cooperatives, to change the supply chain, and to really just change how business is done as usual in order to benefit the health and wealth of Brooklynites. So thank you again for being here. And I'll just say one more word, which is one of my roles tonight is going to be as timekeeper. So whenever time is up, I'll just hit this little chime so you'll know. So thanks so much, Rebecca, and thanks everyone for being here.
Thank you so much, Gretchen. I'm gonna try to do a few things. I'm learning my way around. Welcome, lots of friends, comrades, students, faculty in the room. So Rebecca Lurie, faculty at School of Labor and Urban Studies, and I'm going to share my screen and show you what we have lined up for today. Okay, so this is our showcase. And I caught an episode of Shark Tank sometime this past year, and I was like, nah, it's a little too competitive. But then I was reading Undrowned by Alexis Pauling-Dumb and realized we really are dolphins as we swim together. So let me explain what we have going today while you're here. Whoops. Yep. Community and Worker Ownership is sort of the parent organization for this certificate that we have, Workplace Democracy and Community Ownership, in partnership with Brooklyn Communities Collaborative, of course, at the School of Labor and Urban Studies. And the certificate, which these students are all finishing up, is 4 courses. Here's your QR code if you want to check it out. Nick will put something in the chat. We're having an info session for more about this Wednesday night, and I'd love anyone who's interested to always feel free to speak to me about it. But there are 4 courses, and this is really the last course of the series. And some of our fellows have gone through it two courses per semester, so they have gone through this in a year and really putting forth some wonderful ideas for us to consider and to bring into Central Brooklyn if all goes well. As Gretchen said, all towards social determinants of health, which means we are healthy when we have good life. Much articulated if you listen to the early song by Michael Franti, it's a good day for a good day. So our Economic Democracy Fellows, Amanda Trainer did a piece on deepening democracy in our cooperatives and organizations. Androniki Lagos on a food guild, Bill and Ellie will do a piece on energy democracy curriculum, and Natasha Joseph on cooperative development districts. And I just wanted to give a moment because sometimes people don't really understand what we mean by cooperative economics or economic democracy. I'd like to say it's what we want to build while there are all these things we want to tear down. This comes from movement generation and for a just transition. And it's a model that's being used around the globe to look at the extractive economy are the things we're fighting against, and the regenerative economy are the things we are building. And I think all these projects start to articulate that in relationship to Central Brooklyn. So fundamentally, people know Paulo Freire says, liberating education consists of acts of cognition, not transferals of information. This is my philosophy as faculty, but it's also my philosophy as a human in this world today that says we don't know anything on our own, and we can't even get it all out of a book. We have to really interact. So welcome to this interaction, which really is about, as we say, the dolphin schools, which are also sometimes referred to as pods, not your standard Shark Tank, which is really, we're inviting all of you to dialogue with us about these projects. Earlier in the not this term, but a few terms ago, I initiated something with Project Champions, where people were welcome to join our classes on a regular to do the same thing, even if they were not registered for graduate programs. So it's an important part of both my philosophy and our school when we really say we want to take the learning into the community and the community into the learning. So here we are. And our agenda today is simple, and I want to make sure people understand just how simple. If you've seen Shark Tank, the story goes, someone presents an idea, and these sharks, so they're called, stand up and say, I'm in, or I'll buy for that, or I'll invest for that, or you need to do that, and they put the idea up or down. We really want to use only parts of that model. We really want to see who's in, and then we want to say, what do you need to be in? What would you commit to? And so we're going to hear from our fellows now. Each one will present, and then there'll be one discussant to get the ball rolling. Our timing will be for about 15 minutes per project. After that, we'll take a short break, play some music again. We will have a very short poll for you to declare your interest. We'll have a survey that you can do the same, take it with you or do it tonight. But then we're going to ask more people to come and have another round of discussing with what we might refer to as this dolphin pool. So that's what we have lined up for you now. And I might just show you again. This will be our order tonight. And as people are coming on in, which I think is so exciting, if we need to explain anything for anyone, we can always use the chat or pause and do that. I'm going to stop sharing because we're up to a good number of folks. I want to draw attention to the fact that there is closed captioning if you need that. And that is pretty much where we are. I'm going to start by spotlighting Amanda. And Amanda, I don't remember if you have a designated respondent or not. And if you do, then that person will come up after you present.